Hello, and welcome to the Scoop at Southern. I'm Will Peebles. The week before Thanksgiving break is almost over, and everyone is ready for turkey, dressing, and time with the family. This week, we'll take a look at Eagle Dining Service's special Thanksgiving menu and learn about Channel Noise, a concert put on by the Music Technology Department. So stick around, friends. Your weekly campus news show begins right now. Tonight we'll begin with Eagle Dining Service's special menu. Every year before Thanksgiving break, Eagle Dining Services changes the menus of their dining halls to an array of Thanksgiving-style food. Turkey, dressing, home-style mac and cheese, green beans, casseroles, and pecan pie covers the lakeside dining common area. Oh, that sounds so good. Students were excited about the event, and the line to get food wound through Lakeside and went right out the door. I couldn't make it over to Lakeside for the festivities, but I heard a few first-hand accounts of people praising the food that was served, so I'm sure it was good. Here's a transition from food to music. Every semester, the GSU Music Technology Department puts on a concert of computer-generated music called Channel Noise. I sat down with Michael Payan, a music technology graduate student, Thursday, before the concert, and he showed me around his place of work, the GSU Music Studio.
So this is Studio A, this is where all of the recording stuff happens. So I will set up, for example, Pro Tools here, make sure everything from the live room in there, which I'll show you in a minute, comes into here, gets sent to the speakers, whatever, record it, and do all of the post-production stuff afterwards. So we've got a bunch of stuff in here. We've got nice preamps. We had a lot of new funding this year, so it enabled us to buy a lot more gear, which is great for us because it means we can do a lot more work that we love doing and showcase in the uni. So, okay, this is the live room. We keep our microphones in here, our wires, our XLR, TRS wires up there, so that we can get to them basically. So we can set up any kind of instruments in here, and the cable here runs right back into the studio where we were a minute ago, into the mixing desk, so we don't need to have loads of wires going in under doors and stuff. We can just plug stuff into there, and a headphone port as well, so that we can hear ourselves, or I can hear, for example, whoever's in the recording booth. So the other week we had drums and keyboard out here, saxophone in there, and vibraphone in there. We all had headphones, so there wasn't any spill. I could hear what I wanted to hear. Eddie on sax could hear just me if he wanted to, and himself. It's really cool.
We're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, Peyton will tell us about his piece for Channel Noise, and we'll travel around the world with International Fest. Stick around with us.
Run on down to Statesboro.
And keep on running in the Run the Borough 5K.
Join us at the starting line in front of City Hall, December the 6th at 5:30.
We'll be racing to the finish line to get back and enjoy all the festivities of the holiday celebration.
Get pictures with Santa, enjoy caroling, holiday crafts, and warm up with some Chili Town.
So join us here first Friday, December 6th for the Run the Borough 5K and the downtown holiday celebration.
For more info, go to visitstatesboroga.com.
I'll race you up there.
Sure.
Woohoo!
Welcome back. Last week, Mill Creek Park hosted Statesboro's International Festival. National studies and highlighted different traditions and customs of foreign countries and nations. Art, music, and dance were all part of the celebration. Dining booths were set up so that patrons could enjoy exotic foods and beverages. Children were even given the opportunity to make arts and crafts, such as kabuki warrior masks, Mexican paper flowers, and Chinese lanterns. Bands also took the stage to perform music from their cultures. Didn't that drummer look just so happy? Anyway, we're now going to check back in with Payan, who's going to tell us a little bit more about channel noise and his specific
This
piece.
channel noise is pretty much the music technology graduate recital. So all of the pieces that we've been working hard for this semester, our compositions are going to be showcased tonight. We get graded on it as well, I believe, and it's just a great way to show our work and what we've been working towards. We've got an array this semester. We've got, I think, 3 maybe live performances where things are happening. I know we've got one vocalist, a drummer, and a saxophonist, whilst while they're doing technical stuff to the instruments, and then the rest of us are doing fixed media. So it's an audio-visual theme this year. So to accompany these sounds, we've actually started doing, we've done visual aspects as well to go with the music. Me, I did a piece of stop motion this semester earlier on, where basically I had to take about 5,000 photos of pieces of paper moving against another piece of paper, put them all together, and it's like kind of like cartoons are made. And my piece is pretty much a piece of musique concrète, which is taking sounds and manipulating them and hearing them in ways that they're not really meant to hear. So, for example, I've taken a rehearsal from. My theme was basically the stuff that doesn't make it to a performance, to a like a choral performance. So I've had the chorale, the Georgia Southern Chorale, travelling towards their rehearsal and their warm-ups, used those sounds and morphed them on Logic, the program that I used, so that you hear that in a different way. So it's almost unrecognisable what the sound source is. I mean, like I say, so the stairwell in 4 is pretty. Makes some really cool sounds. So I sat in there with the microphones for about half an hour, picked up loads of sounds, sat in the rehearsal with the warm-ups for the chorale, and saw what I could pick from there, listened to them, found bits that I liked, and then did what I will with them, you know.
We're going to take another break here, but before we do, we'll take a look at a few clips from the concert Channel Noise. And when we come back, I'll talk with Angel Salcedo. Welcome back. Wednesday night, I went to the Williams Center for a panel discussion on disabilities. I'm joined now tonight by one of those panelists. How are you doing tonight, Angel?
Pretty good, Will. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. Now, tell me a little bit about the panel the other night. What was it for and why was it happening?
Well, the panel, the Disability Awareness Panel was designed, as my brainchild, as Mr. Mike said, from the Director of Student Disability Resource Center. And it was designed to show people, give people the voice that they don't know they have. I've met so many people that are disabled and that may not be physically impaired, but maybe auditorily or mentally or visually impaired. And they have so much to say, but just aren't given the chance to say it. So I use this panel as a way to get people to just speak. Speak what you need to speak what you know, so people know what you know. If that makes sense.
Right. So what exactly is a disability? Like what is how does that categorize things?
When I talked about Bob and this all started, we talked about disabilities and how everything came to be. And I really think everybody, to some extent, would say they have a disability, whether it comes to their perspective and maybe they're blind to some things and don't see what others may see. And I say to myself, I don't really have a disability because the friends that I have will completely forget about that I'm in a wheelchair. One day my friend said, "Let's go run a marathon." I was like, "Oh, what do you want me to do? Drive and charge at the same time?"
I feel like you'd be great at that.
Right. No sweat at all, right?
Yeah.
And so, disability is just a word that's thrown around, and nobody understands that disability isn't about not having abilities. It's about having different abilities that get you through life.
And what do you think is the largest misconception about people with disabilities, as you said? Like, what is the biggest thing that you hear and you're just like, no, that's just not true?
It's this mindset that we are unable to do what able-bodied people are able to do, or visually people that are able to see can do, or people that are able to hear can do. And in reality, I think some of the talents that I have would outweigh the talents that you have.
Right.
So it's things like that. We live in a world where nothing can be done by one person. So I can help you do something, and you can help me do something.
Right.
So that's how I view it.
I think that's really nice. That's awesome. So when you started the panel, what was the process for that? You organized the event. That was your brainchild, as you said.
Right.
Yeah. So how did that get started?
Well, I started my college career in 2011. I was an EIP student, which is a summer program. And a lot of what happens during the summer program is a lot of organizations come to get the students prepared for the fall. So a lot of what I saw was MAP, or the Minority Advancement Program created by the Multicultural Student Center. And then I met the director of the Multicultural Student Center, who isn't here now. There's a new director, but her name was Dr. Consuelo Ward. And when I met her, my passion for helping people and being there for people was so strong and so dominant in my nature and in my personality that I just immediately had to ask her, what do we do for people with disabilities? What are we doing? Are we just letting them roll on campus, I just couldn't let that sit there. I had to do something. And so we worked, and I gave her the idea, and we had a meeting the following week at the end of my EIP experience. And from then on, it just grew and grew. And, we got a venue. We worked from there. We got refreshments and everything. We just worked hard every day.
I think I really enjoyed the event. I thought it was very just informative, and it's something that you don't necessarily see on campus because you see people on campus in wheelchairs, you see people on campus with guide dogs and things like that, but you don't really get to hear their accounts. It's just sort of like a view of them that's really superficial and external, and you automatically just sort of like, I think a lot of people just group it into your mind that I don't know, that there's something wrong with that, and I personally thought the panel, I'm just talking up your brainchild here, but no, where does that come from? Where does your desire to help come from? Where did you get that?
I think it all came from my mother never treated me any differently.
Yeah.
My father never treated me any differently. I have an older brother, he never treated me any differently. I knew that I wasn't any different. And this panel isn't about highlighting people with disabilities, it's more so about saying we're equal. We're here doing the same thing you are doing. At the end of the day, I'm either going to roll across that stage or I'm going to get enough strength and walk across that stage. I'm going to get the diploma that you're getting. Maybe not in the same major, but we're going to get the degree. So that's what we're trying to show people.
Well, that's awesome. Angel, we're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we're going to have a little bit more of this conversation and just talk to Angel a little bit more. Welcome back. I'm joined here with Angel. Now, Angel, before we were talking about the disabilities panel and some of just a general overview of everything, but now I want to ask you about your specific disability. Now, what is it, and tell me a little bit about it.
So my disability is called cerebral palsy, and it comes in so many varieties and forms. We could be here for hours,
Yeah.
And we all have homework to do, so we don't be here.
I
We got a break to do. But mine is all physical. Really, my disability is all about the strength of my legs, and the fact of the matter is, I don't have a lot of strength. My muscles aren't as defined or as strong as they need to be, and so I am able to walk, but the amount of walking I can do is very little. And my balance is very little because obviously I don't walk enough to know what, or my body doesn't know what balance is, I guess, to that extent. And so, I mean, that's pretty much all it is. A lot of the difficulties that come with the disability are, you can stand up and brush your teeth. I have to just sit down, or reaching for things, And I feel like a super, super short person. I'm like 5'3" standing up. You can only imagine how short I am sitting down. So there's little small things like that, but you overcome them. So
You come across to me as a very self-confident person. Like you know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. Where does that come from? How did you just? I don't know. I guess just what made you the person that you are?
I wasn't like this. I didn't wake up one day and say I'm this self-confident person because I went through my changes. I think everybody goes through their changes too. And I think at one point my disability did defeat me, I would say, at some point in my life. And I think it was during my high school years. At some point I was just, I was ready to give in. But I found some strength in that. I found some strength in, hanging my head low. And then I learned to pick my head back up. And from then on I learned that picking my head back up made people pick their heads up. And so I liked that feeling. I liked knowing I could make people look up instead of look down. And I wanted to keep that feeling going, and I wanted to encourage and inspire and show that love for people that I have.
That's really cool, Angel. And I thank you so much for coming on, and I thank you for doing all the things that you do for the university.
Thank you,
but
sir.
I'm afraid we're running out of time. Yeah, that's all the time we have for this week, Georgia Southern. From all of us here at Student Media, I'm Will Peebles. Have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving break.